Welcome into the 2026 OUA season previews. We are joined by J.P. Circelli, the Windsor Lancers head coach. And Connor, the end of the 401 is one of your favorite places to go. It's looking like they may be hosting a lot of games at the end of the fall as they have kind of established themselves as a perennial power. So, Coach, thank you for joining us. Hope your off season went well, and we're kind of excited to launch into this ahead of training camp.
I really appreciate you guys having me. And I don't know about Powerhouse. I think there's a couple purple schools that still hold those belts and titles. But yeah, we've been proud with how consistent we've been the last few years for sure.
And I guess just to jump in there and to build off that with the opening question here, what does it taken to what does it taken to get there, and how do you plan on sustaining that through this season?
The biggest thing is surrounding yourself with great people. We've got a great coaching staff, really starting with our defensive coordinator, Pat Donovan, our offensive coordinator, Joe Circelli, and a bunch of other assistants that really believe in what we're doing. And then I think sometimes you look at, what are, the top teams in the program? What are guys at Queens doing? What are guys at Western? What are guys at Laurier doing? And trying to, you can't really mimic their blueprint, but at least take different pieces and say, okay, they were successful. This might work at our school. This might not, but this is a way that we can kind of tinker it. So I think surrounding yourself with good people and really looking at the blueprint that other great programs have, because those programs have been consistent for a very long time and are really the gold standard.
As you guys kind of look at adapting and tweaking to kind of see how you could take that next step, has it kind of been just mainly schematic, or has it been a lot of like training camp layout or practice formatting during the week? What have you guys kind of looked at to tweak and change up this year?
Yeah, it's something that we're always looking at different ways that we can, get the maximum amount of talent from our players. So, the strength and conditioning programs, how we tailor practices. I think the rest is also a big part of it. Within really the past year, we've changed a lot of our practice formats just to give our guys optimal time to rest. And it's tricky because, coaches like myself, when we played, we were used to 2 a days, sometimes 3 a days. And it's a very different world now. As much as we want to say maybe we were tougher than the player that you see today, the players are definitely a lot more athletic. And we're asking our players to do a lot more than when my generation played. So having ample rest brought in there, active recovery, proper nutrition, sleep are all very important aspects. So those are the things that we're always tinkering with.
As you guys play such a physical brand of football, that's not really a surprise to anyone in the province. How do you guys kind of ramp up the contact and physicality during your training camp?
It's tricky because we're always kind of walking that fine line where there's times that you have to do best on best and you have to have the best guys going, the old adage of iron sharpens iron. And at the same time, you got to be mindful that you're not going to be playing Windsor at all this year on the schedule. So how do we get the most out of our guys in competition settings? How do we make sure that our guys are getting best on best competition? But at the same time, having kind of those tapering days that I talked about earlier, where we're giving our guys ample rest, and that's really a chance for the twos and the threes to get some additional reps and really help build the depth that you have on the program. And I think that's really been the key to our success in the last little bit. And when you look at the top programs, they have depth. You're going to have guys get hurt. No one's going to go through the whole year injury free. Best programs constantly have that depth and can really replace players when injuries occur or when fatigue sets in. That's something that we've really worked on, especially heading to this training camp.
And speaking of the training camp process, how much do you lean on your veteran guys to kind of set the tempo of those practices throughout that training camp process?
Yeah, it's definitely a big part of it. Speaking with our captain's council, you try and get constant feedback from the veteran players. Are we pushing too hard? Do we need to pull back a little bit? So at least you get their firsthand account on, can we push more here? Do we have to have more rest? Are guys fatigued? But then really the strength and conditioning, those coaches are a big part of it. We're really big into using the GPS monitors, and that gives us a lot of feedback on, are our guys running too far? Do we need to pull back here? And it's really important, especially in the skill spots, when we look at the amount of running that the receivers and defensive backs do. From a lineman perspective, we don't always see that, but using the sports science to our advantage has been a big part of it. And probably one of the biggest changes I've seen in coaching over the last 5 years is how much that information coming to you to alter your practice or to change something that you're doing throughout the week is imperative to having long-term success with your players.
So if you had like let's say your Z receiver out on the field side tracks about 8 kilometers over a given week, would you guys say like, oh, like let's start to cut back how many reps he's taking, or would you say like let's maybe put him out into some more meaningful reps only? I'm kind of getting stumped for a word here, but do you kind of scale back, I guess is the term I'm looking for, in the amount that he's going to put on his own legs?
Yeah, that's a big part of it because there's certain players that you'll tell to take rest and they'll listen, and there's others that are always sneaking in and maybe changing jersey numbers so you don't notice that they're getting the extra reps in there. A big part of it is planning those practices. This is the day we want to see, our ones and twos do a little bit more versus maybe our threes and fours or something along those lines. And then even just tailoring, um, are we going to be doing a lot more Pascali today? Is it going to be a lot more walkthrough today? Just making sure we don't have too many back-to-back high intensity days. And that's really the tricky part for training camp because we're talking a 1 week process and then you're getting ready for your first game. So it's a really fine line you have to walk.
How have you found your players have taken to the technological aspect of practices now, the monitoring? Is it something they enjoy? Are they like hyped up to see their stats, or is it just something that kind of is more of a coaching tool for your staff?
No, they definitely love using the devices, and some guys will get ticked off if they're not chosen to use the GPS monitor that day. We do a lot with competition, so guys are seeing who's got the top speed, who's running the fastest. So that stuff's kind of tracked in our locker room. So guys use it as a competition and a way to push each other. But it's something that's of the norm. I just think of when I played, that would have really been bothersome and not something I'd be too interested in. But our guys, it's second nature. They get on it. They really appreciate that we use technology, we use the sports science to really give us a helping hand in the coaching and try and take a lot of the emotion out of the coaching. Sometimes we'll get upset if someone's not performing, and instead of maybe running them into the ground, there's a reason they're tired. There's a reason they're sluggish, and we've got to use those tools to help us out and coach better.
Let's start to talk about the roster that's going to shape up for the 2026 season. I know that my favorite group with you guys last year is the running backs. Just the diversity, the different body types that you guys brought, and the different play styles. I mean, Delaney last year felt like a one-cut home run hitter, whereas Mambo hit more home runs, yet he just kind of felt like this grinded out fight for a couple yards, no matter what you needed kind of running back. So how does that running back room supposed to, or feeling like it's going to take shape this year?
Well, it'll definitely be different. Liam Talbot was drafted by Montreal, and he's dressed for several games. And Mambo's with Toronto. We don't expect him back, but you never know what could happen. So it's really Delaney's show. And the freshman that we had last year that showed some glimpses when he was healthy in the return game is Nathan Gazzetti, and he's a true kind of water bug home run hitter type of thing. So we're really looking forward to him. And the guy that got some time due to injuries last year and showed very well was Tyson Noel Charles. He was kind of our third back. So uh, I think it's going to be a different looking running back room, but led by Delaney, it should still be a strong point of our offense.
And of course, the offensive line. I mean, we can't talk about the run game without the big guys. You guys have kind of maintained this wall of, it feels like, 350 plus pounders for the last couple of years. Where do you find these guys every year, and how do you expect them to kind of take another step?
It's tricky because I was an undersized lineman, so I've got affinity to the smaller guys. It's just kind of the way it's happened. We've gotten some bigger guys that have gotten that opportunity. It really starts with our rookie of the year last year, Brett Miller. He's a massive human being, and he's going to be called upon to anchor the line again. And the other guy that had a good year, but was injured for half of it, is Caleb Parker, and he showed really well at this past East West All-Star game. So we're kind of expecting those two to really be the leaders. And our fifth year player that's a grad transfer from Waterloo, Daniel Dove. We're going to be looking to him to really lead this offensive line that has some young players, but his expertise and what he learned at Waterloo will definitely help us moving forward.
Go, Connor.
Uh, sure. Yeah, let's flip to the defensive side of the ball here. What can OUA fans be excited about with the defense? I mean, from my perspective, it's always speed, size, the ability to hit. Those are some of the things that I look forward to with the Windsor defense. But what about yourself, Coach?
Yeah, I think it really starts with our force unit. There's a reason that we've led the conference country in sacks last number of years. Really starts with our two All Canadians, Braxton Johnson and Ahmad Taylor, and really coming back because he had missed the whole year with injury is Malik George, who was an All-Star the previous year. So those three guys are really going to anchor the defensive line. We expect a lot of pressure coming from them. And then we thought that our linebacker core was outstanding last year and didn't get the recognition throughout the OUA, but I think a lot of people understand who Marco Piccioni, our middle linebacker, and our Sam backer, Dylan Simpson, are because they just made a lot of plays last year, and they're going to be called upon to do the same. So I think it all really starts with the force unit, and really looking forward to what they're able to do and help the back end as well.
Well, let's talk about Simpson for a bit because a couple years ago we were talking about Devin Varasek being just this phenomenal pass game defender, and Simpson last year had 3 interceptions to his own credit. So, talk about what in your scheme and your system allows this kind of Sam linebacker position to be so involved in the pass game because you can have a Sam backer that checks off in zone or covers down a man, just doesn't receive a whole lot of targets. Then you can have someone that's fighting for the lead in interceptions in the province. So. How do you guys do that with your system?
Well, I think a big part is Coach Pat Donovan trusting those players to play the sandback. It's really not an easy position to play, and so you have to have someone who's got a very high football IQ. So that's a big part of Simpson's game. He really understands the game well. He's well experienced. He spent some time in the U.S. playing as well, so it's not like he's coming in as a true second year player. So that's part of it. I think the other piece is how much pressure we're able to get with the force unit up front. A lot of times puts quarterbacks in vulnerable positions and really leaves those I guess those jump balls kind of hanging in the air that someone like Simpson is able to quickly realize and has a nose for the ball type of thing. Whether it's pressure on a screen or one of those quick hitch plays, it just happens to be the right guy in the right spot a lot of the times. And I think a lot of it's due to the pressure that the defensive line is able to give, and then also just his knowledge of the system and everyone kind of playing their role really has led to Simpson being a dynamic player for us.
Well, Coach, if we were to leave you with one kind of quote to give your expectations for this year, one word to kind of give your expectations, what would you choose for this upcoming season?
That's tough. There's a lot of great teams at it, and obviously we feel that we're one of those teams that can compete. I think the biggest thing is, we're just looking at it as, we feel it's our time. It's our time to step up. And you alluded to it earlier. What does it take to get to that next step, to get to that Yates Cup? We felt we were close a year ago. Obviously, Queens was a better program, and I think looking at those universities that we talked about as setting the gold standard, if we're able to kind of match where they're at and step up, I think it's our time. It's time for Windsor to take that next step and hopefully get to Yates Cup.
Well, thank you, Coach, for joining us. It's a pleasure as always to get to talk to you ahead of the season, and we look forward to seeing how many times teams have to go down to the end of the 401 because I know you guys make it tough to play down there in Windsor, and best of luck to you guys. Your physical brand will probably carry you as far as you guys want this year. So, good luck in the season to come. Good luck in training camp, and we'll talk to you at some point soon.
I really appreciate both of you having me on. And again, thank you for everything you do for our league and giving the coverage that you do. It means a lot to not just me, but the rest of the coaches and the programs at large. So thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.